Hey guys, Call Minority. Another fan fiction for donating. Well, you already know the stream. Blah 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 blah. Okay, this is Face the Stranger by who I don't really care to look. Let's get started on chapter 1. Dally was riding the Hogwarts Express to Hogwarts with her best friend Edward Cullen. She had just found out she was a witch and a vampire with Edward, and now they were going to school to train to be better. So already it's something I hate magically. Edward, do you Edward, do you miss Bella? I asked. I don't want to think about Bella, Edward said. Oh, are you guys fighting? She's just being a cunt, he yelled. She thinks I like you, I mean... Why would she say that? Dally asked. Well, Suddenly there was a sound of the door of the trolley. I'm going to come around with candy. Would you like to buy some? Came the voice from the door. Yes, come in, yelled Edward. He wanted a distraction. The door slowly opened, and in came a boy with spiky black hair and black clothes, and had his arms wrapped up. My name's Hiei, he said. I'm selling these candies to pay for my trip to Hogwarts. He showed them the tray, and then there were butter bolts and candy frogs with cards on them. Edward noticed that Dolly was staring at Hiei and growled, We aren't interested. Go away. Oh, okay, said Hiei. Wait. I would like to buy some birdie bolts. I'm sorry, it was birdie bolts, said Dolly enthusiastically and smiling. She reached out for some and touched hands with Hiei. Edward agreed. Okay. Well, that will be... Okay, well, it is free for you, baby, Hiei said. He was flustered because he touched hands with Dolly. He thought she was very cute. Thank you, said Dolly. Oh, I'm sorry. Thank you, said Dolly. Hiei left and Dolly began to eat the beans. Okay. So do you like that guy? Edward asked. Of course, he gave me free food. He's very nice, Dolly said happily. Suddenly they arrived at Hogwarts and uncame from the train. They were greeted by a big wizard with a long white bear, and a pointy hat, and he said, Come, students, follow me to the Great Hall, and we will eat, and you will get sorted. Dolly and Edward got into the boat and went into the Great Hall with Dumbledore. They sat down at the table, coincidentally, right next to, coincidentally, next to their friend from the ship, Hiei. Dolly was also sitting next to a black and red hedgehog. My name's Shadow, said the hedgehog. Edward began to grrr again. Grrr. Why are you talking? Why are you all talking to Dolly? He said. Calm down, said Dolly. He's my best friend. He gets a little territorial sometimes. Oh, okay, said Shadow. Aight, said Aight, said Dumbledore. I will now sort you into the hat. One by one, each student and hedge mice, because there were some Sonic characters, came out to the sorting hat. It told poems for the houses. There is Gryffindor, Hufflepuff, Ravenclaw, and Slytherin. Edward Cullen, said the hat. Slytherin! Edward put on a silver and green scarf and sat down at the table at the end. He winked at Dolly. I thought her name was Dolly. Whatever. As if to say, come to my house. I have all the boy pictures. Shadow, Slytherin! Shadow put on a silver and green scarf and sat down next to Edward. Gee, I hope she gets Slytherin. I hope she gets Slytherin, thought Shadow. Yay! Yay! Slytherin! He put on a silver and green scarf and sat down next to Shadow and Edward, but could not stop gazing at Dally. Now it was Dally's turn. Dally! Called the hat. She was beckoning and so went up. The boys did a drum roll with their feet. Ravenclaw! Dally's face fell off. She could not believe it. The boys looked so disappointed. She suddenly put on her black and blue scarf and sat at the table with a group of strangers. Lucky she found her friend Carla, Annie, and Megan. Happa's in this story now? No! Happa is not allowed to be in this story. Hey guys, I didn't know you were witches. Yeah. No, that's Happa. Yeah, we just found out this summer. I can't believe we're in the same house. I do very horrible female voices. So there was good news after all. They began to head back to their homerooms where Hiei stopped Dally in the hall. Listen, Dally, I want to tell you something, said Hiei. I like you. I like you too, Hiei, she said softly. Then he kissed her, and their lips met like fire. Okay, that's enough, said a voice. It was Professor Umbridge, whatever, the Defense Against the Dark Arts teacher. Go to your rooms. I'll see you tomorrow, said he, and he kissed her again. I said enough, goddammit, shouted the professor. Bye, said Dally. They left from the darkness. Two eyes watched. It was Edward. He was mad. He ain't supposed to be my boy. I mean, Dally is my homegirl. Why is Mystique naked? Chapter 2. I'm phonetically. Dally sat in the common room of Ravenpaw, not Ravenclaw at all, sketching a picture of Hiei and thinking of his kiss. Suddenly, she looks up at the fire. In front of her was face appeared. The face appeared turned blue like water, but it was fire, and the eyes wee yellow. Hello, said the fire. Mom, said Dally. Just then, Mystique came out of the fire. She was naked, but she didn't have any nipples. She's not naked totally then. You gotta see the areola to be naked. Now then, you are a wizard. I can give you my powers, said Mystique. She handed her an orb, and suddenly the room turned colors. Ah! Screamed Della. Stop changing her name! Her name is Dolly, not Della. She was in a lot of pain and suffrage. Then Mystique disappeared, leaving Dally with a belt and an X on it. She was now a mutant. What the fuck is going on in this fanfiction? Already. Dally could feel a new rush hour of power in her organs. A rush hour of power in her organ. She tried it out and turned into a bat. Well, I could already do that because I'm a vampire. Lol. She thought to herself. So 10, she tried it out again and turned into a demon chaos chow. A demon chaos chow with a little spiky ball over her head. So she turned into a chaos chow, huh? Great. Oh my fucking Christ, she said. I can turn into whatever I want. This Mystique power. I want with Mystique's power. She pulled out her BlackBerry and texted Hiei, I'm a chow. He came right over. She turned back though, because it would be creepy if they kissed, and he said it was really cool. He wanted the powers too, so she asked the fire, could you give me those powers too? No, Mystique showered. You are not my daughter, and therefore I cannot pass the powers on to you. However, if you get married, you will be my son, like the sun in the sky. So we can do it then. We can have sex in front of my daughter. You know what that means, he said. If we get married, I can have the power. But suddenly, Deli began to think that the other guys in her life, there was Edward, who, let's face it, wasn't interested in the girls in the first place. He had Bella, but he said something about her liking her on a trolley. Then there was Shadow, who looked at her like, I like you. And she liked Haya, but she liked others. I don't think so. I have cold toes. You mean cold feet. And ran away crying. Oh, you can't leave me here at the altar. Wait, they were getting married? When did this happen? When was this decided? No, you can't leave me here at the altar, baby, shouted Hiei in upset. Ha ha ha, laughed Mystique. You will never fucking get to powers. And then she disappeared, and so did Hiei, because he's not supposed to be in Ravenclaw's dorm room. LOL, WTF was he thinking? Dolly wept quietly to herself when all of a sudden a blonde walked in the class and approached Jade her. I don't know who that is. Oh, Draco. What's wrong, Dolly? Who are you? I asked. Oh, my name is Draco Malfoy, he said. Are you okay? Is he a dog? Dolly looked into Drake's eyes, and he started rapping to her, and saw that he cared. He was full of compassion, like a snake. How the hell is a snake compassionate? The boy held out a hand and pulled up Dolly. Do you want me to walk you to your class? He asked. I would love that, Dolly said, battering her ashes. They began to walk down the hallway together when a blast came out before them. It was Edward. Dolly, he shouted. What are you doing with all these boys? Edward, it's really none of your business. Now let us go to the Great Hall, she snipped. It is Dangerous-oo! Dangerous-oo, he began to raise his voice. But just then, Draco pulled out his magic wand, and him and the vampire got into a big fight. But Dumbledore came and broke it up. That's it, he shouted. You boys will come. Oh my god, this is like my Voodoo all over again. Everybody's coming everywhere. You boys will come. Have a talk with me in my office. And they left. So Dahlia had to go to the Great Hall by herself. But then Shadow came and joined her. What is a pretty girl like you doing all be yourself in Great Depression all alone? He asked. Well, he is being an asshole, she said, and cried again. Shadow put out his paw on his leg and massaged her caress. It's okay, he said. It's okay. Meanwhile, he was updates, punishing Walls angrily. Why did I hurt her? He accented himself, and then he thought of Salud. I'll win her back, he said. Meanwhile, Edward and Draco were upstairs in Dumbledore's house. They were sitting on his bed because he said they were out of cars. What? I hope you mean chairs. What do you think you punishment should be? Dumbledore asked, pacing around. He was wearing a black t-shirt and ripped Hollister jeans that showed off his muscle. What? Now Dumbledore is a young man with a black shirt and Hollister jeans that show off his muscles. Edward gurred again because he likes to do that. Grr. His senses were tingling. Something was wrong. Suddenly, Dumbledore put his hand on both of their legs and said, I can think of something. OMG, OMG, you faggot, Draco screamed. He tried to run, but he could not. And that is the end of the chapter.